I gotta go big screen. On the big screen.
Hey guys, happy
Happy holidays.
holidays.
Sorry we're late. Cheers.
Cheers.
I don't know what this thing is. What'd you make this time?
It's your Grinch mimosa.
It's very grinchy.
Actually, I should use a straw.
I
Good straw.
don't even know. Koopy should be on here.
Hi, John.
Yeah. Stuff goes wrong, stuff goes right. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that kind of could be better with what we figured out this past year, actually from other years too.
Yeah, we
So-
had a slight incident on December 23rd, Festivus.
Mm. Yeah, nothing worked. That's the problem. Nothing electronic worked in this house. It was pretty bad. So that's what happened with Festivus, and that was a bummer. But hopefully everybody had a nice, Grinchy drinks. Everybody had a nice Christmas. Hanukkah's ripping right now, I guess, right?
The Grinch.
Goes to the 2nd of January. So, Festivus. So the big thing that we picked up this past year was we've been traveling internationally on and off, and we didn't have global entry before.
No.
So we did have TSA pre.
Yes.
Maybe
Which
you have
TSA pre is really nice because, as a lot of people know, you can leave your shoes on, you can leave your light jacket on.
Sometimes they don't take 6 drones out of your bag before you go through security. Usually they do.
You can leave your liquids in.
Yeah, but it does make carrying camera gear and anything with batteries like a lot easier, for sure.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because sometimes when we go through the Syracuse airport and we don't know why, sometimes Chuck gets pulled over.
Practically get strip searched every time. They have to look
but
through.
Once in a while he doesn't.
Yeah, 1 in 100. They won't go through like the 4 drones in the bag and then all the cameras, the Pocket 3s, the actions, all the batteries, everything. Yeah. My backpack weighs like 40 pounds. It's pretty crazy. If they start checking by weight, I guess I'm in trouble. But
so wait, I guess if you have drone equipment, give yourself a little bit more time.
If you have anything electronic, give yourself more time. But the big thing we did this year was, in the past, we had gone through like customs coming back into the States, JFK in particular. And when we went to Iceland over a year ago, the first time, and we came back through JFK, we didn't have global entry. And how long did it take? Like almost an hour?
At least an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Yes. Thank God we had enough connection time to like not screw up our connection flight out of there.
The lines were like crazy.
Serpentine forever.
In fact, I told Chuck I was so scared. I was like, should we really be doing this? But we had no choice because it was just like the lines were wrapped all like over the whole room.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
So we dug into global entry, and there are actually multiple things you can choose, but I'm going to share the screen here because this is global entry. The website, can I share it? Well, if you type in global entry, you're fine. I'll put it in the notes, I think, here. So I can do this without breaking anything. Maybe.
Actually, that made it so much easier.
Okay, there's the linky. So if you don't have global entry, I mean, there's Nexus and there's a couple of other things, but global entry is the best bang for the buck overall, in our opinion, because when you're coming back into the United States, whether you're a neighbor to Canada like we are, or you're flying in from outside the United States back in, global entry makes this super fast and easy. Super fast and easy. It was, what was it, $100 up until September or something? I think the price just went up.
I think it was around 100.
Yeah.
So actually, when you go to the website, you just have to say what area you're in, what state.
So the website that we're sharing on the screen right now, actually, you go in here and you can ask, you find out like, hey, I want to know, am I eligible? And if you're a US citizen, you're eligible, basically. Then there are other regions where you might be eligible as well. You can see them here. Argentina, United Kingdom, Germany, stuff like that. So like there are reasons for ineligibility, which probably hopefully you won't run into. And anyway, you start here and you can literally apply right online. It is super fast. I think Lori and I did it separately. It took us maybe 15 minutes to fill out the paperwork online. If you have a passport, that makes it go very easy.
So actually I have to say something for a moment. John was saying, have you ever snuck anything through customs. I was thinking you didn't sneak, but it was very funny. Remember Canada?
It was an accident, wasn't it?
No, it was your the action figure. What was it? It was
Oh, Inspector Clouseau action figure. Yeah, the customs. I didn't sneak that. The customs got it.
No, you didn't
We
sneak
we
it, but
we admittedly have accidentally brought. I think I brought a bottle of scotch back from somewhere and didn't declare it because, well, that's a whole nother story. Maybe we'll get into that in a minute. So anyway, with global entry, it's a really good way to get in to the country fast. When we did JFK with global entry this past summer from Iceland, instead of taking an hour, 5 minutes.
probably 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
I mean, it's so easy because you go to like a kiosk almost.
You're funny, John. It's not an accident. It's not a crime. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, not so much, but
Yeah, so
we'll plead the fifth, man. Pleading the fifth.
Well, do you remember that one airport person was trying to help us, but we didn't actually need help. Remember, he thought that we had alcohol in the box, but it wasn't alcohol
Oh yeah, that guy.
because you used the box that was like a wine box or something, but there wasn't wine in it.
You want to talk about that story from Iceland? Yeah, coming back from Iceland, we had so much stuff to bring home that our suitcase went overweight because it was 50 pounds coming in, which was a mistake because then there was no room for anything. So I got a cardboard box and put handles on it and MacGyvered it together and brought back like a couple of drones and stuff and put them into that without the batteries and stuff so that they could find their way back to the United States. And there was no alcohol in that box. It was just like a couple of
No,
drones.
but he thought
and
so.
Yeah, and candy bars
Yeah.
and simple stuff.
Well, it's because the outside of the box said wine, I think, or something.
Yeah. So you do want to be careful. Like anything in your check bag is where you want to have, say you do bring back vodka or scotch or whatever. You want to have that in your check bag and declare it and all that when you go through customs. That cardboard box that I had, he literally told me, he said, they'll probably open that thing up. So is there anything in there? That looks suspect. They're going to look in that thing.
And they would take it away.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, a couple of things to be careful with. But global entry, super easy to do. Then when you sign up for it, you pay your I think it's $120 US at the moment.
Which will probably change.
Probably. Then so you do pretty much everything online except for one thing, and that's the interview. You have to do an interview with a customs officer and nothing to be scared about. They're just basically interviewing you to verify everything that you submitted on your application is correct. So they're not going to ask you any surprise questions. The only thing that
the only issue would be if you've been arrested.
Yeah, and they ask you that. Have you ever been convicted of a crime? And of course, Lori and I are like, no. And the officer told us that day, I think it was
crazy. People actually lie.
Yeah, people lie.
But then, of course, they know.
Yeah, they already know the answers. They're just like verifying stuff. Actually, there's one thing wrong with my application that they fixed.
Hi, Rob. Merry Christmas.
He didn't pop up on my screen yet. Rob. Hello, sir. So they, where was I? Now I lost my train of thought. Thank you. Where was I? I'm lost it. Take me back. Hurry.
Global entry.
Global entry. Yeah. Oh yeah, the interview process.
Yes.
Thank goodness. I should be taking notes. The second thing to go with old age, memory. Merry Christmas, Rob. Hope it was a good one, man. Hope you get your Inspire like airworthy again. Get the battery thing sorted. I found nothing on it. Anyway, back to the interview. It was, I think, for the two of us, we went in together. We're so close to Canada, we actually could make a reservation and an appointment almost like next day. And it literally took longer to get there than to do the interview. The interview took, 15 minutes for the two of us combined.
I would say the waiting in the waiting room was longer than the interview.
Yeah, maybe a half hour total. So
I mean, she was super nice to us.
Yeah, the officer was really cool. So it's really easy. They take your picture, they ask you the questions, make sure your application's correct, and then bam, you're done. And you will literally have your card in probably 2 weeks' time. So it's pretty fast here in the States to get it. If you can't go to a local site, like we're so lucky to be close to Canada, we did it. They also do it at the airports, like JFK does it, and you can make arrangements to just do it there. Or you can even walk in. There's literally a line when you have to, so you have to go through it, do it the hard way like we did. And then if you have extra time between your connection, or if you don't have a connection, better, there's a line you can do self-serve and do it immediately, get in line to do your interview like in JFK. And they're not the only airport that does it, but you have to look at the list to find out the other ones. So it's just a great idea to get global entry. And kind of segueing to something else we wanted to talk about is, you're not going to say?
I'll let you say.
All right. Well, the rules are changing in 2025. May of 2025, you have to have real ID in this country. So in the United States, even if you want to travel domestically from, say, like us in New York State to go to Seattle or whatever.
Well, unless you have a passport.
You need real ID. The passport, yes. The passport is real ID. That qualifies. The global entry card also qualifies as a real ID. And then, like in New York State, Lori and I don't have real ID, like enhanced licenses, our driver's licenses. But if you have an enhanced license in your state, then that is also a real ID. So in the spirit of redundancy, which you guys all know I'm a big fan of, if you have a passport and you have real ID on, say, your global entry card, then you're double dipping, you're double covered. And then if you have a driver's license that has real ID, then you have 3 pieces of
Oh, there's something else too I thought of. With the
identification.
global entry,
Yeah.
you get the TSA pre-check.
Ah,
So you
Lori's
don't.
right.
So initially,
Lori's
Chuck
right.
and I got the separate TSA pre-check.
We did TSA pre-check first.
Hi,
And-
Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Global entry is not much more expensive than TSA pre. It just takes a little more to do it because of that interview. And again, the interview is not scary. In fact, it kept my paperwork correct and saved time and errors later on. So global entry was the big thing we wanted to talk about because that is the huge time saver.
Yes, and combined with the TSA is great.
It was a no-brainer. I mean, we
The TSA
literally
pre.
we saved almost an hour's time just on our very first trip from Iceland coming back into the United States. And that brings up something kind of wild. Like Ireland was kind of wild, right? We actually did customs in Ireland, which was bizarre. We used our global entry at the Dublin airport in Ireland because that is actually where you do customs for the United States. It's one of the few countries, airports
which is
that does
nice.
that.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. We didn't even know we used our global entry card there instead of when we got back to the United States was what? Chicago, right?
Chicago that time.
So that made it even easier. So global entry is a huge win, not super expensive. If you want to buy time in life, there aren't many times you can buy time, and this is one of them.
And I noticed
sure.
that there are people that have it, but so far everybody's not doing it. So it's not like crazy busy as far as global entry.
No, it's been going pretty quick and smooth. I'll knock on the table.
I know there's more people doing the pre-check though.
Yeah, there's a lot more people doing TSA pre. What else is going on in the chat? So
Rob
well,
loves Southern Ireland.
We love Southern Ireland too, Rob. We haven't shared anything from
We have
our adventures in Ireland. We have to. I'm actually editing up
Well, you're just a little bit backed up.
Maine. Working on Maine of all places.
Yeah, because
So-
we went to Maine in July.
Yeah.
So
So the next big topic I think we should talk about that we learned about kind of like semi the hard way, but not, is
and,
travel insurance
and health issues.
and having health issues on a trip, because we have now experienced both.
But we had some minor ones.
yeah,
Hi,
so-
Steve.
Steve, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Yeah. So we actually had travel insurance, and if you travel outside of your own country, you should get travel insurance because there's a good chance that if anything medically goes wrong, your regular insurance won't cover it, at least definitely as
So I was
Americans.
going to say, John wants to know what went wrong. Definitely with the health stuff. There was.
Oh man,
there's stuff for both of us, but I
We had
mean, not
problems.
major, but enough to be a problem.
So like you definitely want to get travel insurance to cover you medically if something goes really amiss. Lori had a close call in England.
So 2 years ago, we were in London,
Yeah,
and I actually ended up with a tooth infection.
that was not fun.
I'm not even sure how I vlogged through it.
She did.
Somehow I
You vlogged
did.
through it. You can watch the videos, and like she's She was a superstar. I would have been like a little baby and wouldn't want to do anything.
But the last 3 days, my mouth, it was excruciating. I could barely sleep.
Yep.
I mean, I was
I
afraid to go
remember.
to the dentist though, because I didn't know like how that would be in England.
That could be a good joke with like.
So I actually waited till I got home somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable to say the least.
Well, for me, I had an eye issue in London a year ago, and I actually spoke to my eye doctor on the phone here in the United States, and he said, "Is there a hospital you can go to?" And there was a hospital right across the street from the Shard where we were staying. I could have gone there, and if I didn't have travel insurance and tried to go, it would have been super expensive because you're out of network and all that crazy stuff here in the United States. So that is something that went wrong, John. Yeah, that's one of the things that almost went severely wrong for us. Because if you say you did have to come home, like urgently come back to the States, your travel insurance will cover that. So I had a problem with an infection in Iceland, and
Well, you started with it was your finger,
yeah,
but you had a small issue before you left, though, right?
yeah,
But it got a little bit worse.
yep.
But maybe you should talk about you found the ointment though. Remember, it was hard to.
Oh, I found no ointment in Iceland that was worth anything. It was all.
But you put something on it.
It wasn't. Yeah, in Iceland you can't get anything that's like really helpful.
Well, you can't get Neosporin.
No, you can't get Neosporin, for instance, which is my fave thing on the planet.
But actually, maybe pack some. That's what we started doing. If you have an ointment that you think like you might need for some reason, definitely pack it. If you're like in Iceland, any foreign country.
Yeah. As far as the biggest thing that's ever gone wrong in our travels is when we were liberated of our bags from the vehicle in Portland, Oregon. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the most unpleasant thing we have experienced so
Hi,
far.
Warren.
Hey. Kira shows in the house.
Happy holidays.
There's a way to show this anyway.
I can see it on this one now. So yes, Portland, Oregon was very bad because Chuck and I, remember we were kind of tired, but we were super hungry. So we decided to stop in downtown Portland, Oregon, not knowing anything about the city at the time.
We should have known about the city.
But we didn't really.
Yeah.
And so we had this convenient parking garage across from the restaurant brewery that we're going to go to. So unfortunately, it wasn't a good choice.
Very bad choice. Yeah, we came out after having a really nice dinner and a couple of really good beers.
And we had all the bags in the trunk.
Well, had is the key word.
Had. And we believed, as far as we know, we believe that the car was locked.
Most likely, yeah. Didn't matter. We read about the garage later that people would break windows to take stuff if they saw it. But regardless.
So somehow they jimmied the trunk.
Yeah, they opened the trunk. They took everything except for this massively huge suitcase that we carry with us. So, you know, small win. The suitcase was there. But
wait, and where did I have all my stuff? In my carry-on mostly. And they took my carry-on.
Yeah, Rob, it would be easier for Lori to leave me here. That would be easier. I'm always the problem. I carry all this stuff. Always a mess.
But it was bad though, because I put that time I put all my stuff that I cared about in the carry-on, and the carry-on was taken.
Did we have travel insurance that time? I don't think we did. I don't think we did.
No, actually, I want to say we did though, because I feel like we
never claimed it.
Didn't we try to make a claim though?
Oh,
I think we tried, but I don't know if it worked totally.
Okay, strike that from the record. We had travel insurance. You're right, because I went and recovered some of the loss. You're right.
Jewelry, yeah.
Shame on me. How did I forget that already? Oh yeah, old age.
I remember the jewelry.
Second thing to go with old age.
Which is another thing. You should not bring a lot of jewelry with you.
Yeah, don't bring anything. So when you go on a trip and you pack all your cool stuff, leave the really sentimental cool stuff at home. It's not a fashion contest. Even when we're on YouTube and stuff. I mean, don't do it.
Well, actually, don't leave your bags in the car like that.
Yeah. Always put your most important stuff in something portable, like your carry-on or personal item, and you can carry that into the places you go into with you. Don't leave that like alone in the vehicle or anything anywhere. And that's, my God, if we had drones then, I would have been heartbroken. But
yeah, well, ever since then, we do not leave anything unattended, especially in a city or in a garage like that. You definitely don't want to.
Yeah.
But we
Don't
were
do
actually,
it.
for instance, we were in the garage, remember, in Ireland, and just because of what happened, we did not leave the bags in the garage.
There have been so many things we haven't done since what happened to Portland. We were in Scotland a few years ago, and we.
So Andy's asking, what year was that for Oregon?
Oh, I don't really want to release the year because it could come back. No, I can't. It's a few years back. What? 5-ish.
I'd say at least 5 years.
Yeah. So a little while ago.
Maybe.
But
six.
we have definitely altered the way. Rolex, dude.
Oh,
Uh,
so Rob, no Rolex for Chuck.
Yeah. I just have a health wearable. Nothing fancy.
No.
Nothing fancy.
But definitely, we will not
taking
like.
the piss out of me.
We're very careful. At least we try to be even more so now. If we do leave anything, where we're leaving it. But.
Yeah, we're very mindful about where we leave stuff, and usually, like the hotels, there have been plenty of times when you check into the hotel, because if you do like a red eye over across the Atlantic to go anywhere, chances are you're going to get in before your room's ready, and that happened in
and I hate to say I'm a
London.
bit nervous, and I shouldn't be.
Iceland.
I'm a bit nervous. So you know how they like the hotel will take your bags.
Lori won't even trust those guys.
I'm a little bit nervous now, but
and that's absurd because they're actually really.
I know,
but
it's
the
just
least likely place to have something go wrong.
But I think when something happens to you, you just you get a little bit more cautious.
You do get shell shocked, but definitely keep your most important stuff on you at all times if you can, passports and stuff. He's still laughing at the Rolex.
Warren said something about one vacation across the country. Wait, which where to go?
Vacation, we had gone across the country several days, only to come back to have our car broken in front of my house. Jeez. Oh. Yeah. Actually, I have a coworker, former coworker now. Just back before we went to Ireland in the fall, he was in London. While he was in London with his family, enjoying London, their house was broken into and a lot of stuff was stolen. So, I don't live by this, probably should, but it's actually a good idea not to talk about your vacation and whereabouts while you're away from your residence.
Wait, that's another thing that Chuck and I make sure we don't do, remember?
Yeah.
Like when we're out and about, like say you're on a tour or you're in a restaurant or whatever, and you meet somebody, you start talking to them. You don't want to say, hey, you're in the middle of moving from place to place.
No, do not.
Just in case.
Just keep that kind of under your hat.
So don't tell people that you have all your stuff in the car.
Yeah, because I know there have been a couple of times where me, being Mr. Big Mouth, has slipped up, and it could have been an issue. So
yeah, because you just don't know, because you're meeting people that I mean, technically they're strangers. So
well, Warren, that might be smart. I wish we were, but New York State's almost impossible. But yeah, it's a good idea. It's the best deterrence ever.
Yeah. Warren, remind me, I can't remember what state you're in.
Me either. Obviously a more relaxed state than New York. Pretty sure.
Well, especially if you're packing.
Yeah, well, you can do it here, but it takes an act of freaking God to get a freaking permit. Not yet. Oh, we'll wait. So
yeah, I can't.
So that's the deal with
I want to say I might be wrong. I feel like Michigan, but I'm probably wrong. Wait. We're in Ohio? Okay.
I
didn't even know that you could.
Isn't that the Bugs Bunny joke, Warren? What's high in the middle and round on both ends? It's Ohio. It's like an old.
Actually, I have a friend that lives in Ohio, but she's in like.
Well, we have friends there.
Yeah, different areas. She's in Beaver Creek, so maybe I don't know if that's more.
Anywhere near you, Warren? Yeah, you're our neighbor, a neighboring state, and they're much more easier going than here. Yeah. So those are kind of like the huge horrible things that went wrong. That's why we're saying like the best thing you can do, make your traveling easier.
Rob, his 50-year-old daughter in the car.
Oh, is that what he said? Hold on.
He leaves her in the car, hoping that someone will take her.
Stop,
Rob.
That. No, it's not.
You can bring her here.
Yeah, and John.
She can hang out with it. Our niece is close to her age.
I don't trust myself with a gun. I actually did axe throwing once without Lori on a company function. That was hilarious.
Wait, John, how about a BB gun?
I don't know. Anything. Take an eye out with that too. Maybe not. So that's those are the big things. It's been a fun year though. This 2024 was a really good year for us travel wise. We did a lot of cool stuff. We did take chances. I mean, anytime you get into a helicopter, you're taking a chance, right? We got into a small aircraft like a Cessna. That was cool.
Yeah, in Lake Placid.
Yeah,
Actually,
that was
very,
cool.
very fun, but I have to admit, kind of scary.
The thing was duct taped together. It's a little scary.
I think it was the smallest plane I've ever been in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you might want to notify your next of
Hi,
kin if you're getting stuff
Alan.
like that. Alan, man. How you doing?
Speak of
Happy
Ireland.
Christmas. Yeah, there he is.
Happy
Man, myth, legend.
holidays.
So
We miss Ireland.
we do. I guess one little tricky tip thing is to avoid jet lag if you're heading in a eastwardly.
Well, actually, we even did in Ireland on the last trip.
What's going east? Same thing.
Yes.
So if you're traveling eastbound, chances are you're going to be on a red eye from the United States anyway. But anyway, generally when you travel eastbound, you want to do your best to stay up to about 8 o'clock in the evening, wherever you're going in that local time, heading east. If you can do that your first day, there's a very good chance you'll be a zombie for part of the day, but then you'll be pretty much adjusted for your next day.
You bet you don't miss the weather.
That was.
I feel like the gods were pretty kind to us.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. That was a close call. I mean, like, so there's some things that you just can't fix, and the weather's one of them. Like Alan brought up, when we were going to go to Ireland in October, Storm Allison. Was it Allison? What was it? Alan?
No, it was Ashley.
Ashley.
It was definitely an A. I remember.
Ashley. It was the A storm. I didn't really want to tell Lori about it, but Alan had warned me about it, and we flew through Ashley.
You didn't tell me until like we were there.
Yeah. It was a bumpy landing, but we landed.
Well, and then I said to you that
was crazy.
I remember why, because we were in the airport.
Yeah.
And I said,
I need more of this.
I said, Chuck, why are there so many people being delayed? And you said, because there's a storm.
Yeah, a lot of things were grounded in Dublin that day.
So, I mean,
planes were diverted.
We were lucky we got in.
Yeah. So I don't know how to really adjust for it. If you have that kind of problem, if your flight gets canceled, you could get stuck in an airport for what? I mean, maybe like a connection. You get stuck connecting from wherever to go wherever.
I mean, it could be hours.
So having a couple of things in your carry-on is just a really smart thing. So you want to have obviously your toiletries and stuff, possibly a change of undies, things like that you want to have with you so you're okay for a day or so. Also, if you have stuff, if you can't fit it all in your carry-on, I mean, have enough stuff in your carry-on to get a couple of days, because if your bags do get misplaced, it doesn't happen very often anymore, but it still happens. Then at least you have survival stuff to get to a store and maybe get some new clothes and things before, if the airport doesn't find, the airline doesn't find your stuff. I hate to even say this aloud, but
I know you're going to say, but
I'm knocking on wood. I really am. Because
we have been fortunate enough never to lose our bags or have our bags delayed through the airport. But I should knock on wood now.
I wish. I don't think we are, but I don't think even the super rich. Ask Elon that.
Wait, what happened?
Does Elon get like some special jet lag IV? Probably not. Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, maybe that'd be scotch.
You know what? Sometimes for me, it's a giant cappuccino.
Ooh, giant cappuccino.
Actually, we did that in England. The first thing we did is we went to a coffee shop and got those giant cappuccinos. But I think you might have got a decaf.
I did decaf.
Which actually doesn't really help them, but.
One of my friends, you guys might know him, Keith from K-Spot. He kiddingly says, I've been drinking pregnant woman coffee now.
No decaf?
Yeah.
Or decaf, I'm sorry.
Decaf. Anyway.
Right. Well, I don't know how you do it because I need some caffeine.
Stop it, Rob. I'm putting this up on purpose. We are not. We are not. And the way things are going in this country will be even less so, because we're just working class, but we happen to not have kids, so we can splurge a bit. But anyway, that's
well, the other thing is
I don't know if they have IVs. Never heard of that.
Wait, the other thing is Chuck and I didn't start, I guess, splurging a bit more until we went to Scotland.
That's my parents' fault. That was our anniversary gift.
But I think when we finally went, as I say, across the pond, I guess that's when we started maybe.
Well, that's when it's most appreciated. If you go on a really long flight, then business class is definitely very much appreciated because you can sleep on the plane, like sleep like a human, which is like invaluable when you're traveling overseas or whatever.
That's the
for a
thing,
long
though, because
distance.
I definitely can't sleep if I'm in coach.
Yeah. So like,
Because it's just too crowded.
and there's this whole debate on like first class, business class. When you go transatlantic, at least from the
Do
United
they
States
even
somewhere,
have first? I don't think they have
they
first,
don't. It's
really.
like it's all business class. It's all the same. So people say they're fluke. Sometimes I'll slip up and say it, but it's the same thing. And that's the cool thing about business class, that the same perks and everything you get flying business that you would get flying first when you're going transatlantic.
But I would say
And
if you can,
yeah,
business class is really more important, I think, when you're going across the pond
it's more appreciated when you're going like
because you want to get some
across the neck,
rest,
whatever.
I
Yeah.
think, too.
So
Especially if you're driving a distance on the different side of the road, on a different side of the vehicle.
we need to work on figuring out a way to better use our points to save more money flying, because that's something we all should do. You should definitely enroll. If you're going to fly on any airline, enroll in their frequent flyer program immediately, like anyone you use, and start banking miles, because then a couple of things will happen. One is you'll be able to use the miles to hopefully get a deduction or almost free business class for a big trip somewhere when you're going, like, because we never goes like long distance trips. We do like maybe one a year if we're lucky, but
one or two,
maybe two. But the other thing it does for you is if you're banking miles and the airlines recognize you after a while, then you might be doing a regular business trip even, or just a coach trip somewhere locally, domestically, and they will offer you an upgrade for like next to nothing. I had a couple from like, Minnesota and stuff. So for like less than $100, you could bump up the first class. It was like, yeah, sign me up, man. Because like,
so I have to say, Warren, I did not hear that. Warren's saying something about they discovered a body in a plane.
I heard that yesterday, Warren.
I didn't hear that.
Is
I
that
don't know if I want to know about that.
That I don't know the circumstances or pretenses of that at all, but I know that people have stowed away before.
So you're saying
this is
somebody was hiding and passed away or something?
Yeah. No, I don't know if a lot of people are aware, but Hawaii has an incredibly high like homeless populace, at least on Maui.
Well, I hate to say, but they did. But where it was where the fire was.
I know, it's even worse.
So now I'm not sure what happened.
So I mean, it seems like more plausible that somebody. It's kind of like you go to Maui, you lose everything, and then you can't. You know, money to pay your way out. You have to, but you want to get out of Hawaii. I could see somebody desperately trying to do that. That's horrible. But
And so, Alan, you said Alan does have a family member that's a pilot.
Yeah.
So, Alan, was it your son? I feel like you said maybe your son.
I didn't share that comment.
But yes, that's always nice. Unfortunately, Chuck and I, we don't have anybody like that at the moment. But we have friends actually that have family members that have told us that makes it easier, of course.
I'm going to back up just a little bit. I didn't show the Real ID site, but this is the Real ID site if you want to verify that you're in America or whatever.
Oh, his nephew. Okay.
Nice. Here's the other site. God, look at that. That's a launch code right there. But that'll get you to Real ID. And again, here that's the United States thing, but Real ID, passport, enhanced driver's license, or global entry. So there, I wanted to just touch on that really fast. I know it's out of order. I apologize, but.
And I also wanted to say we started saying it and then we got away from it, the jet lag.
Yeah.
So what Chuck and I try to do is when we arrive somewhere, we try to stay up until the
8
time
o'clock.
that we
talked about this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you totally, because that one time we didn't, and then we were totally like, we were still on US time.
Oh man, that was huge. Yeah. Best thing you can do
definitely helps.
Do whatever it takes to de-jet lag, at least traveling eastbound. Westbound just seems easier. I don't know why.
Well, if you can too, definitely try to get some sleep on the plane.
Yeah.
Because that does help.
Yeah.
Sure. I remember one time it wasn't very comfortable. I started like falling asleep like at the airport when we were waiting in the terminal, just in the regular terminal section. I fell asleep like years ago. And it was bad because it's not comfortable. I woke up and then I felt like my neck was bothering me because of the way I was like trying to sleep.
Warren says they don't return his phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens, man. Spell checker bites
Oh.
me all the time. I'm a horrible speller.
Oh, and I will say something too that's interesting, and we didn't even expect it. If you're in business class sometimes and you have an issue and you just tell somebody, sometimes they will give you air miles. Because Chuck had something as small as his screen wasn't working on his
Yeah,
TV.
my screen wasn't working, and the flight attendant hooked me up with
But he
miles.
wasn't expecting anything, but
No.
he just kind of mentioned it, and they're like, "Oh, we can do
Yeah.
something."
Yeah, you don't have to be a snot about it. Normally,
So
they'll take
usually,
care of you.
if you're nicer,
Yeah.
it seems like if you're nicer, people will help you, of course.
So I think in the spirit of international travel, and I know many people who watch our channel they like to travel and they carry drones like we do. There's something.
Rob says just mention the Kovacs.
Yeah, right, dude. It's like
So,
they won't let you on the plane. Be like on the do not fly list or something.
Well, Warren, I wish
those guys. Yeah, we don't want
Warren,
you on a plane.
I wish you could mention us and big things would happen.
Yeah, we would like that, but
maybe someday.
Maybe someday, not today. Yeah, so since we all tend to carry drones with us, at least most of us for now, I wanted to share this site because this site's pretty cool. You guys might already know it anyway, but I'll put it in the description too, or in the chat. So like another launch code. But if you want to look up drone laws by country, no matter where you're going, this has helped us because we wanted to know like what we needed to do before we got to said country to be able to fly the drones and hopefully not get arrested or imprisoned or anything like that. Normally for me, it's just I get yelled at, but
in prison would be bad.
I haven't been in prison, but I've been yelled at plenty of times. Sir, you cannot fly here. Oh, I'm sorry. Bring the drone back really slow.
Well, I'm going to say sometimes I get a little nervous because in certain countries, and I guess we haven't been to those.
Yeah.
I was hearing they could shoot the drone down.
They will shoot drones down in some countries. I think like Rob has talked about England being one such country, but
it hadn't happened to you, luckily.
Well, my favorite spot so far is hey, I know that. By the way, that waterfall, Skogafoss, that's a no-fly zone. But somehow I got footage there. I wonder how that happened.
By mistake.
Oops. Anyway, but yeah, so you can go through the laws. I won't lead by example. All the rules for Iceland are here, and actually, just as a fun fact, if this is part of the European Union or EU, so if you're going to fly to the EU, you can take the exam and everything online for like Iceland, and then you get the cool Icelandic flag on your little permit paperwork, and then you can still use that same EU classification to go anywhere in the EU. So you go like Italy or whatever. EU,
wait.
you can.
I have to say something. Warren wrote about a long selfie stick. That makes me think of, and you're going to laugh. Do you remember when we were in Boston and we were in Cheers? I feel like you had that giant selfie stick, and Chuck held it up in the middle of the Cheers bar to film. And people kept like looking up because they're like, "What is this man doing?"
Warren, I have a 9-foot selfie stick that I put like pocket cameras on the end of, 360 cameras, and yeah, right. I need a 100-foot selfie stick.
But remember, people were like looking at you because I guess
I get looks all the time. She should film it. It's hilarious. Some of the ways we get shots are funny.
But it is in the video from Boston that people are looking when you're doing it. But I think some people were a little bit worried because all of a sudden, like somebody's like sticking something up in the air.
That was pocket 2. I had pocket 2 on the end of it was like 9 feet up in the air, and I held it up like straight up over the bar, and then I was controlling look it down, so like you could have like a bird's eye view of the bar, which was kind of a cool shot without using a drone. Yeah. You can get creative.
I think you're making a few people nervous for a second.
Warren brings up Rob's saying the same thing, which is also true. So it's like, oh yeah. That's how Lisa.
So actually, I'm seeing this. So in Iceland, you can't fly your drone above the buildings, above the height of the buildings.
Oh, in Reykjavik?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know that.
I stayed level with the buildings.
So why can't you go above the buildings?
Because there's an airport. So in Reykjavik, they're actually kind of nice. They'll let you fly, but you can't go above building level because you're right on top of the airport. And we certainly don't want any mishaps. Iceland's pretty cool about drones. I mean, overall, they have their sore spots, but Yeah. So anyway, you can go to any one of these countries and you look stuff up. It's pretty easy to do. Yeah, sub 250, Rob. It's that's like when I was in the UK over in England. That's what I flew the most in, like, London. Although you get outside of the urban areas, then you can let a bigger bird go with, like, a little discretion. Just be careful. At least, it's not technically okay to do, but,
And then once in
right
a
when you're
while
caught.
something happens. Like, weren't you flying outside the city a bit last time, and was the drone not recording? Something happened.
Well, that was my fault. But yeah, I used
because there's a
Mini 3
guy.
sub 250.
But remember, there's a local guy that came over talking to me because he's wondering what you were doing.
Yep.
And I didn't even realize that. I guess it wasn't filming at that time.
Oh, Warren, man, he's killing me here. I lost the. I'm sorry, I fell behind on the comments, but yeah, no,
We
no.
want to address that.
No.
But actually, see, Rob is saying you're good if
Anyway.
you're under 250.
250 grams. So, like, all the mini drones are sub 250s, and they're all amazing now. Like, Mini 3 Pro is what we're using. We have a pair of those. Mini 4 Pro is even better. Probably Mini 5 is on the horizon, but they're all, like, the things we got on camera with a Mini 3 Pro in Iceland on a windy day because I bunged up my Mavic 3. I can't believe I got the footage I did. So, I mean, definitely, if you're going to go, like, to the EU, that makes it super easy. You can fly, and you can pack like 2 of them in the space of one Mavic 3 also. So you have redundancy. So definitely.
Do you want to show your Iceland video?
I guess we could. Anybody want to have, if we have popcorn, have like maybe
how long is that?
About 15 minutes.
Oh, is that?
We never showed this. I don't know if I was gonna, but if you guys want to peek, somebody chat, say you want to see do you want to see a drone video? Anyone?
Is it a sneak Iceland one?
Well, it's a lot of drone footage from Iceland. What's Rob saying? Exactly. Oh.
So Alan says, I've never flown illegally.
I have never been caught.
Well, I hate to say well, sometimes so, and I know it's happened with Chuck though.
I do my best to follow the rules.
You technically may have, but you didn't realize though.
Yeah, I'll take the dumb American excuse.
No,
but
there have been times we didn't realize because
dumb American clause.
The signage actually even wasn't that good.
Oh, Alan, when we were at the Cliffs of Moher, I wish I never said a word. If I hadn't talked to that guy at the guard shack and asked him, my Mavic 3 would have been outside those cliffs, and it was a perfect low wind day, man. I still hate myself for that.
But I think we told Alan what happened too, that one trail was closed.
Yeah, the one trail was closed. It just all went.
So there was a trail that we really wanted to go on that was closer to the edge of the cliffs, and it wasn't open.
All right, let's go. Want to show it?
Sure.
You guys want? We're going to show. It's movie time.
You could always stop it if
you guys can tell me to stop if you want, but
if it's too long, we can stop.
Or we can just chat about it, and like I'll mute us though, and then we'll just write in the chat with you guys. Let's see if I go full screen. So where is it? Where'd it go? There it is. Please say if you hear anything, right? If you hear audio or not. This is Iceland, the land of fire and ice, a place like no other. Divided by 2 tectonic plates, it's a land of constant change. Exploring Iceland is like seeing Earth as it was being born. Like it's just being formed from fire and lava and ice. There's something new and exciting to see around every corner. We're Chuck and Lori. Pack your bag and join us as we explore Iceland.
Sit back and relax, and let us take you to iconic locations Welcome to
Iceland! Well,
love Iceland.
yeah, kind of love that. That footage came from the 2 trips. So it's mostly Mavic 3 Classic this time. The plane, Segafoss, Skoafoss. Anyway, those were all Mini 3 Pro things. So because the first time I went to Iceland, I wrecked the Mavic 3. Didn't even fly it, and I wrecked it. So that was really sad. But thanks, Rob. So I don't know. Should we release it as a full-on, like a relaxing video and let people just kick back and like watch for like 15 minutes, or just let it run on a roll like, over and over?
You could.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we put it up just like let her rip, like play it around? I don't know. But that's
And the interesting thing is too, when we went this past end of August, beginning of September, and we actually, it's an upcoming video, we actually went in a helicopter and saw the volcano erupting.
Yeah. So truth be told, the drone footage in that video it was a gift from a guy that had given me directions with how to take a hiking trail to get to the volcano to get the same shots he got, and it just never worked out. So
well, then what happened
gave me
too,
permission to use them because it just shows it's the vibe of Iceland, and he was kind enough to let me use it. Actually, I had to slow it I had to slow his footage way down because it was kind of jerky. So like I slowed it way down.
remember what happened though? When we
A lot of
arrived in
editing tricks.
Iceland last time,
Yeah.
you were ready to possibly take the drone over the volcano.
I was ready.
But then we didn't. You didn't.
Nope.
So then by the time you were going to, the volcano started
Fizzling
out.
Yeah. Always take the opportunity, strike when the iron's hot.
Yes.
Never miss an opportunity for
So,
sure. I missed the opportunity. So
yeah.
what else can we do? Rob says yes. You think? I know you drone guys, you're like me. I mean, we love what we do, and maybe I'll put it up.
That's even funnier.
It was super fun to film this. Lori was like,
Wait,
I was like, we have to stop and fly. I have to stop and fly. I have to stop and fly like every 5 seconds.
I had a funny vision though. Can you imagine like if you went like around this time of year? And I know it's hard to do because
in the winter.
Well, you put the elf on the shelf on the drone and then put it in the volcano.
Wait. Warren, I have a very sad story about Reykjavik and the drone. So I actually got up really early in the morning and I was at the hotel and I went to the roof of the hotel because they had a roof bar and nobody was there. It was like 7 in the morning. And I went to take Mini 3 Pro up and get shots of the city, get Hallgrímskirkja, the church and all that stuff. And DJI wouldn't let me fly. So I couldn't fly there. So, okay, fine. So I was a little mad. So then we went back. Remember, we walked down towards the Sun Voyager.
Yeah.
Right.
Was
and
that
like,
the time?
So we were down by the Sun Voyager.
The guy, I wonder.
Yeah, and a guy approached me and asked me questions and stuff, and Lori started talking to him. And I launched Mini 3 Pro up, and I'm flying in between the buildings. I got these epic shots and everything, and I get back, and I never hit record. Which
I hate to say I've done sometimes with a smaller camera.
So, third time's a charm, maybe. Yeah. But Autel Army, nice. Yeah, I know, dude. I think like, because like DJI's no fly stuff is kind of conservative, but that was the one time it nipped me was in Reykjavik. So kind of a bummer.
Yeah, and Chuck loves the DJI store.
Oh, Kirsch's gonna get Autel. So yeah. I don't know. I've never flown one. I suppose after I thought Mavic 3 flew a lot different from Mavic 2 Pro. If we're not talking drones for a second, probably a good way to close anyway. But maybe the Autel drones would fly similarly different from like Mavic 2 to Mavic 3 Pro, maybe. Anyway, I could use some input on Autel versus DJI. So if you guys want to like write comments or whatever, we can talk about sometime. I'm really curious because I mean, I don't know what we're going to do in about a year's time here anyway. Maybe here we're screwed with both, but we'll see.
I hope not.
So that was a little holiday surprise. I hope you guys picked up a couple little good things out of like the travel stuff. Global entry is hugely advantageous though. So definitely, if you didn't see that, go back to the beginning, go to the global entry site, and it's really less than
Oh, I feel like it lasts, is it 5 years, I
yeah.
believe?
Oh yeah, it lasts 5 years. So you're good for
Oh.
5 years. So $120 US. I think that's the current rate per person, and 5 years. And it is a huge time saver. It's kind of like when you go to Universal Studios and you can buy time by getting the quick pass. It's like that. You're buying time, and there aren't many times in life when you can buy time. So we break
So I guess on that.
on that happy note. Thank you guys for tuning in and stuff. I hope you enjoyed the Iceland stuff. I mean, that was kind of like Lori and I decided to kind of like pop it up here and see if you guys would dig it, since
Yeah.
kind of figured
So
you
thank
might.
you guys for spending time with us.
Yeah, and the holidays, no less, because be sure to spend more time with your friends and family and stuff. And we wish you a happy new year coming up. Let's hope 2025 is okay.
And you may see us possibly,
Maybe,
because we're thinking of a
maybe,
trip.
maybe, maybe.
So possibly.
So thanks, everybody. Yes, we will be back. We promise.
So thank you guys, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays. See ya. Can I do this?